Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what if I told you you had about 4,30,000 rupees to spend? What would you spend it on? A nice holiday perhaps? Or buying a lot of gadgets? Well, for a price of 4,30,000 rupees, you will get Sony's Master Series OLED TV, which is the A9F. This is the 55-inch variant that we have for a review. So let's get the bottom line out of the way. If you have 4.5 lakhs of rupees to spend on a TV, you can absolutely get this one. It is a fantastic television. However, it is way too expensive. Now, it brings with it a lot of features. You can use it as the center channel on your home theater, for example, so you don't need a center speaker. The audio output from this TV is actually better than almost all TVs that we have tested in the Digit Lab so far. The picture quality is phenomenal. This is the first TV that is powered by Sony's X1 Ultimate chipset, which means that it has much better object-based HDR rendering. So yeah, I mean, if you have 4.5 lakhs of rupees, go ahead and buy this one. However, if only and only picture quality is something that is important for you, you have a lot of options. You have the Sony A9F, which is at about 2.5 lakh of rupees. You have the LG C8, which is a fantastic OLED panel, also priced at 2.5 lakh rupees, but as of recording this video, it is available online for close to 1,50,000 rupees. So yeah, even though this TV is fantastic at 4.5 lakhs of rupees, 4,30,000 to be precise, and if you want, you can get it. If you just want a panel, there are much equally powered options out there for almost half the price. But if you want to know what's so special about this TV, and if you're considering to pick one up, then you may want to stay tuned as we're going to run through all its features and how it performs. Now, when it comes to the build and design of the TV, it just looks like a picture frame on the table out here. And that is because it brings back the design from last year's Sony A1, which was Sony's first OLED TV. It has a picture frame design. The picture actually tilts back for about 5 degrees, and that is something that you will absolutely not notice. So if you go and say, oh, the TV tilts back, I won't be able to see the pictures properly, it's nothing like that. The viewing angles are fantastic. Being an OLED panel, it is going to be reflective always, but that's something that we will cover in the performance section. When it comes to the design of the TV, it is literally the A1. If you place both the TVs side by side, you may not know which one is which. However, when it comes to the connectivity options, they are also similarly placed. They are behind a panel at the back of the TV, and you have the standard 4 HDMI ports, 2 USB ports. There is also a special port which lets you connect the speaker wires, the 2 copper speaker wires that would otherwise go in your home theater. They go into the back of this TV, and it has the standard slew of antenna and other inputs that you would expect from a TV, including headphones out. So when it comes to the build and design, it's a tried and tested build and design. When it comes to the connectivity options, it is absolutely up there with everyone else. A great thing is that for the first time, all of the 4 HDMI ports on a Sony TV are HDMI 2.0, HDCP 2.3 compatible, which is great for your 4K HDR accessories. Moving on to sound. Now, before we get into the picture quality of it, we are going to talk about sound. Now, Sony actually did something called as the acoustic surface. When in the A1 and the A9F, Sony had 2 actuators and 1 subwoofer, which gave you pretty good sound. What they have done with the A9F is they actually have 3 actuators and 2 subwoofers. Now, just to give you a little bit of reference, if you watch the first 15 minutes of Blade Runner, you have this really cyberpunkish music that's playing along with a lot of natural sounds of Ryan Gosling and his hovercraft, mixed with a lot of silence. The sound in that movie is something that really captivates you, and I can tell you that I really enjoyed watching that on this TV. Even something like the Cyberpunk 2077 trailer, the bass was a little less than what I would have liked, but considering this is a TV's speakers, they are actually pretty good. When it comes to the picture quality, this television is running on Sony's X1 Ultimate chipset, which is what they announced at CES 2018. Just to give you a reference, the A9F and the A1 ran on Sony's X1 Extreme chipset, which was actually pretty good when it came to HDR processing, but with the X1 Ultimate out here, it has gone into object-based rendering. Now, what that means is that if you have a basket of fruits on a table and there are a bunch of grapes on it, earlier on the entire bunch of grapes was considered as one object. However, with the X1 Ultimate chip, each individual grape is considered as a separate object for HDR rendering, which is kind of fantastic. But when it comes to viewing content on this TV, we did a lot of 4K content from Amazon Prime Videos, which has stuff like Grand Tour and all. along with a lot of Netflix content. Now, when you are watching Netflix content, there is Dolby Vision Bright, Dolby Vision Dark and Vivid mode, and changing between these three modes, there was very little difference between Vivid and the others. Of course, that makes more sense when you have a brightly lit room or a darkly lit dark room, where these settings actually make a lot of difference. What there is no difference between is the Netflix mode and the HDR Dolby Vision modes that are there. So you can toggle a Netflix mode, which is specific to these televisions, which are Sony's Master Series. And honestly, there wasn't much of a difference that I could find. I mean, I may need to consume a lot more content on Netflix to actually figure out the difference, but whether you keep it off, it really doesn't make much of a difference. The only con with the performance of this TV is that some content, especially HDR content, Dolby Vision content to be specific, in the dark looks a little darker than I'd like. This is specific with the Daredevil Season 2 fight sequence, which we have seen. It looks a little darker than I'd like, but otherwise the HDR, Dolby Vision, HDR10 performance of this TV is fantastic. Another great thing is how it upscales content. So if you watch shows, if you watch movies like Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Blade Runner on Amazon Prime Videos and play it on this TV, we actually played it on this TV for a couple of people and they actually thought it was 4K content. So it really upscales content well and the panel looks good. All OLED panels are reflective, so that's something you're going to have to deal with based on where you place this TV in your house. As far as gaming performance is concerned, honestly, I could play a game on this TV, on the LG C8, on the Sony A9F, and it would be really tough to tell you visual differences because I'm not sure games are at that level where they can take advantage of the complete HDR capabilities of these TVs. They look almost at par for me on almost all these TVs. So if gaming is a performance factor for you, you can consider a cheaper option. But if it is upscaling content, be it regular television viewing, 1080p content from streaming services, your own collection of DVDs, Blu-rays, or streaming 4K content from the built-in apps, this TV works absolutely brilliantly. Coming to the user interface now, that is something that has really evolved. We have Android 8 running on this TV now, something that we have seen on the Xiaomi TV we reviewed earlier. But the advantage of this TV is that it has Netflix, it has Hotstar, it has Prime Videos all out of the box, so you don't need to worry about downloading apps or connecting a device separately. It's all there. You just go to the Google Play Store and download them. Now the TV comes with voice controls. It also comes with Google Assistant, which means if you have Google Assistant enabled devices in your house, you can control them from the comfort of your TV. You can say things like open Daredevil on Netflix and it'll do that, but you can't say things like play season 3 episode 2 of Daredevil on Netflix. It will not recognize that. But you can say open Daredevil on Netflix, open Jessica Jones on Netflix, and the TV will recognize that. However, it did not recognize the same things for Amazon Prime Videos, so that may be a bit of a bummer for some of you guys. But as far as its voice recognition and smart features go, it is pretty good. It can be the best maybe in a couple of years once all these bugs are fixed, but otherwise the TV's UI is fantastic. Another thing to consider is if you are watching 4K Dolby Vision content and when you press the action menu, especially on the A9F and the A1, it would take a lot of time for the menus to pop up. Out here, it is butter smooth. You press the button and the menu pops up. Now, speaking of pressing these buttons, we are going to talk about the remote control, and the remote control is literally the same one you get with the A9F. Nothing has changed. You want more details, you can check out our review in the comments below, in the descriptor below. But the remote is the same. It is in its plastic case right now for protection, but it's a full-size remote. You have the Netflix button, you have the Google Play button, you have the navigation buttons. It's a full-size remote. LG's Magic Remote is more ergonomic. It's easier to swing around like a wand. Sony hasn't changed its remote. It's functional. It gets the job done. So yeah, there you have it. So for 4.5 lakh rupees, 4,30,000 rupees, you are getting a 55-inch OLED TV with some fantastic sound quality, an easy to use interface which finally is not lagging anymore. And the panel quality could have been that much tweaked, I guess, with the firmware. Maybe it'll get a little better once Sony updates its TVs with firmwares and software updates. But yeah, if you want a flagship TV, no bars, no questions asked, then yes, you can definitely consider this one. However, if you are on a budget, I mean, if you want to spend a lakh, lakh and a half, 2 lakh rupees and still want fantastic picture quality, you have the A9F and the LG C8. You also have offerings from Panasonic. However, we haven't reviewed the Panasonic OLED TVs, so we can't comment on their performance. But yeah, we have tested everything from Sony and LG's offerings. Both of them are fantastic. Price can be your biggest consideration when buying these, especially when picture quality matters. Picture quality is fantastic across the series of these OLED devices. Your purchase decision should be, do you want the extra bangs and whistles with the speakers and the smart functionality, or do you want a pure panel that you can connect to your home theater? So there you have it, guys. That was our review of the Sony A9F OLED TV. If we didn't answer any of your questions in this review, you can let us know in the comment section below. We will do our best to answer them there. And for more videos like this one, you can stay tuned to digit.in and subscribe to our channel.
For the latest technology updates, subscribe to digit.in and don't forget to hit the bell icon.